The following is a presentation of 4-Star Sports Media.
What's up, everybody? It's Razorback Zach from Inside the Hog Pen with a very special edition of 4-Star Sports Show, and I'm joined by the boss man himself, Wes Pruitt, who is live from Mobile, Alabama. Him and Bum are down here this week for the 2022 Reese's Senior Bowl. Wes, day one is in the books. Did you learn anything?
Zach, here's the thing, man. Thank you very much for having me. It's been a great, just day one. We learned that once you get in the tunnel, there's nothing you can do. You just got to bust a U-E and come on back through the tunnel. We've learned a little bit about Mobile, Alabama today. We've got lost a couple of times, but it's going to happen. Man, when you start getting close to downtown Mobile, by the convention center and by the stadium and all that, it's honestly refreshing because you start seeing signs. Senior Bowl. You start seeing the greats. Brett Favre, Dak Prescott. Even going further back than that. For example, the restaurant that we ate dinner at tonight. Great restaurant. All over their wall is nothing but Senior Bowl. Old pictures, old coaches, stuff like that. But, man, we got up this morning, had a great breakfast here. Went down to the convention center, picked up our credentials. Very easy process to pick their credentials up. Just had to show vaccination card, proof of booster, and ID. That was it. They handed you over their credential. We got parking passes for the game as well, and practice. But you look around and you see guys like, for example, we ran into Mark Brunell today, former Jacksonville Jaguar quarterback, now the quarterback's coach for the Detroit Lions. Just literally in passing. It's really eye-opening to see, like, for example, Zach, we came around the little player area, which had black curtains around it. You can kind of see through. Players were in there playing ping pong. Just kind of shooting the crap, man. Just having a good time. It's very relaxed down here. Everybody's excited. But tomorrow morning, man, is when it all cranks up. And what I'm most excited to see out of this whole week is you only get 3 days of practice. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You get a game off, and then you've got the game Saturday. So I'm really interested to see how these guys can create chemistry in just 3 short days of practice.
Well, and that's one of the biggest things that these guys in college get to do is create chemistry. I mean, you play 12 weeks out of the year. Some of them play even 15 weeks if you're Alabama or Georgia. But one of the things, too, that you learn is how the other teams kind of create their own chemistry. Because all these guys are coming from different colleges throughout the country, not just the SEC, not just the ACC, not just Power 5, but all over the country. And I believe, and Wes, you're down there, you can correct me if I'm wrong, there are 2 NFL coaching staffs that are coaching either side. And I think this year is the Detroit Lions, like you said, and the New York Jets. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. You got the Detroit Lions staff and the New York Jets staff. And what I find really unique about this year, and Jim Nagy had the idea and the NFL did as well, the head coaches of those 2 teams, which is Dan Campbell and I can't remember the name of the Jets coach right now. But anyway, in this game, they are in advisory roles. So they're not the head coach of the team. They're just an advisor for their assistants who they deemed head coach, all of that. So it's going to be really cool to be able to get a chance to watch some of the younger guys in the NFL at the assistance level get a chance to work with these college kids one-on-one and just really see how they grind. Wednesday morning, there's a media breakfast. Starts at 7 a.m. We're probably going to push our show around a little bit because of that. It's from 7 a.m. to 8:45, and all the coaches will be there. All the players will be there, and then you can go around and get one-on-one, socially distanced interviews with players and coaches. So we're definitely going to take that opportunity on Wednesday morning. There's a media breakfast tomorrow morning as well with Jim Nagy. I don't know that we're going to get on that. We've got the lineup we've got so far is pretty daggum good, if I must say so myself. Now, I didn't get the one guy that I was really kind of the ace in the hole. I never got a response back from him on a time, so we kind of moved on past him. But other than that, man, I mean, we got a guy on Friday that works at a radio station down here, so he can give us a little bit of a feel of how Mobile takes this game. But Zach, I know coming from a Razorback fan as you are, you got John Ridgeway the third down here, and you also got a long snapper, man. Talk a little bit about the two guys that are going to be playing in this game for Arkansas.
So the two guys who got playing for Arkansas, John Ridgeway the third, and I think he was defensive lineman for Arkansas this year. And then you've got Jordan Silver, who was our long snapper on special teams. And in my opinion, he was one of the best long snappers Arkansas had in a while. I mean, you didn't see very many snaps go over the head. You didn't see very many bad snaps at all out of Jordan Silver in his career at Arkansas. And of course, everybody knows the name John Ridgeway because he was in there sacking quarterbacks and stopping the run, plugging holes like that. So this is a big deal for Arkansas to have two people in the Senior Bowl this year, because last couple of years we haven't had much representation at all.
Yeah, I mean, when you look, and just talk about Arkansas for a minute, but when you look, the transfer portal, the devil of college football, as some people have noted it, I don't think it is, honestly. When you look at a team like Arkansas, for example, Florida State is another one. The transfer portal it's what you make it. If you lose guys to the transfer portal, it's going to happen. University of Memphis lost them. Alabama lost them. Georgia, after the national championship, lost players. It's not necessarily what you lose. It's what you get back out of it. And when you look at Arkansas, man, that Sanders kid out of Alabama, stud. You got the kid out of, I believe, Oklahoma, stud. The wide receiver, Hazelwood, stud. When you look at Sam Pittman, he's using this transfer portal picture perfectly, man. And you got to give the guy credit. Not only is he using the portal, he also held on to his assistants once again. You keep Kendall Browse in there. You keep Barry Odom in there. Keep in mind, those guys are also grade A recruiters, not just in the South, but all over the country. Sam Pittman done a great job with the transfer portal. What do you think about the job Sam Pittman's done with the portal so far?
You know, year two, Sam Pittman's been one of the best I have seen out of the recent slop of Arkansas head coaches that we've had in the last couple of years. And you're right, Sam Pittman is using this transfer portal perfectly. But the biggest concern I've got coming out of the transfer portal, and we've said this many times on the Pick'em show, I've said it on the Hog Trough with Christian, and I've even said it on our show, Inside the Hog Pen. It's getting these guys from other schools like an Alabama, an LSU, Oklahoma, to buy in to the culture that Sam Pittman has built here at Arkansas, and keeping his two top guys, the offensive and defensive coordinators, Barry Odom and Kendall Briers, is huge. Absolutely huge. And because these guys are going to be potential head coaches, and even one of them, the defensive coordinators, got head coaching experience. So to keep these core guys and keeping this staff intact, minus two of them, is a big deal. And you're right, Sam Pittman, beginning of the season, he said the words, if you enter the transfer portal to the University of Arkansas, you're not coming back to the University of Arkansas. Now all of a sudden you see guys poking their foot out there going, I'm going to the transfer portal and coming back. It's not that he's changing his stigma at all, but maybe he's changing his tune a little bit. Maybe he's recruiting these guys back. We don't know, but Sam Pittman in year two gets an A across the board in my book.
And another thing with the portal, man, a player may announce that they're entering it, but until their name is officially on the list, they're not in it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and I think a lot of things that fans may jump. Oh my God, he tweeted he's entering the portal. Well, hold up, pull the reins back a little bit. Is his name in the portal? Because if it's not, he's not in it. But yeah, when you talk about Sam Pittman and you talk about the assistants, you bring in a guy like Dominic Bowman, Memphis, Tennessee native, also coached at the University of Arkansas Monticello, so he's got an Arkansas tie there. But you look at him, man, he's moved up the ranks of coaching quite quickly. And coming from a Marshall defense that was good, let's not shake a stick. It was a good defense, but you're bringing him in at a position that is crucial in the SEC, and that's defensive lineman. You've got to bring in a guy that knows the job and does it well, and that's Dominic Bowman. Dominic Bowman is a hell of a pickup for the Arkansas staff for sure. But Zach, when you look at this week, man, of course everybody in the nation wants to watch these quarterbacks, and why wouldn't they? You've got Kenny Pickett, Bailey Zappi, Desmond Ritter from Cincinnati. You got the kid from Nevada, Carson Strong. And then you've got a guy that I cannot wait to watch, and that's Malik Willis out of Liberty. Coming in, watching him come from a Hugh Freeze. Wouldn't really say fun and gun style offense, but it's definitely got a lot of fun to it for sure. You bring him in. I'm really interested to see how they can mesh with not only the linemen, but that center quarterback exchange is very important. So seeing how they mesh with some different centers around the nation, things like that. Everybody wants to watch the quarterbacks. I want to watch the defensive backs. Personally, you got a guy that's from Crossroads, Arkansas, played at Ouachita Baptist University. We watched him play this year against Henderson State in the Battle of the Ravine, and that's Gregory Jr. He is a young man that the NFL scouts told Executive Director Jim Nagy personally, we didn't want him in this game. We wanted him to remain unnoticed so that we could get him and nobody knew who he was. Also, Zach, very funny this week, he was supposed to be playing in the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl. He practiced. But then the game day, he said, I don't want to play. Come see me in Mobile. That's where the big boys are at. So he's also created, I wouldn't say controversy, but he's created a little more hype around his name. And I think that's good. When you look at his measurables today, he measures right up there with everybody else. He just didn't come from a Michigan. You know what I'm saying? He came from a small school in Ouachita. But Zach, when you look at this game, and I'm sure you'll be watching Saturday 1:30 kickoff on the NFL Network, what is the most intriguing position to you in this Senior Bowl?
For me, Wes, everybody, like you said, everybody wants to look at the quarterbacks, the wide receivers, the running game. You want to watch the defensive side of the ball. I want to see what's going on in the trenches, both defensive and offensive linemen. That's where your core group is going to be. That's where both on both sides of the ball, that is where both of these, all 32 teams in the NFL, they're core guys. If you don't have a great offensive line, you don't have a run game. If you can't protect the quarterback with your offensive line, he's going to get popped every time, and you're going to end up just like, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Just kidding. But on the defensive side of the ball, if you don't have a good defensive line, they're going to run all over you. Seriously. So that's the position group I'm going to look at, is the offensive line and the defensive linemen on both sides of the ball. But Wes, when we come back, we're going to be jumping into the festivities of the rest of the week, and we're going to make our first two announcements for the interviews for tomorrow. And I got to tell you, Wes, going through these lists, dude, I'm kind of excited about these interviews. Special edition of 4-Star Sports Show. Back in a minute.
Tomorrow on 4-Star Sports Radio's coverage, live from the 2022 Reese's Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama, Wes and Bum sit down with Lennon Crisp of Culture, Sports, and Media at 8:45, followed by the voice of the Ouachita Baptist Tigers, Rex Nelson, at 9:15. Make sure you follow 4-Star Sports Media all week long for news and exciting interviews.
Welcome back, everybody. Razorback Zach from Inside the Hog Pen here with a very special edition of the 4-Star Sports Show. Senior Bowl edition. We're coming to you late night. Wes and Bum are down in Mobile, Alabama. And Wes, before the break, we were talking about the positions, but I want to get to kind of the festivities of the week. Are they running any kind of drills leading up to the game, or is any like a combine, or is this kind of one of those media days, interviews, and that kind of thing? Kind of run us through the events leading up to the Senior Bowl.
They went through and did weigh-ins, they did measurables, things that you're going to come to when it comes to the combine, things of that nature. When you really look at the Senior Bowl, it's really almost like a mini combine, just more in a practice form is really how I look at it. There's still timing on all these drills and things like that. But tomorrow, course kicks off. The national team will go first. I believe it's national. It may be American. But anyway, one of them starts at 10 o'clock in the morning. And goes through, starts at 11 o'clock in the morning, goes through 1:30. The second practice of the day is from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock p.m. Tomorrow night at 6:30, Brandon and I will be there. It is the 2022 Senior Bowl Summit. This year is let's see, it's Mel Tucker Jr. from Michigan State, Brian Carson from Auburn, James Franklin from Penn State, Nick Saban from, of course, obviously the University of Alabama, and then Kirk Herbstreit. So it's kind of like a forum type environment. They sit up there, kind of shoot the shit, tell stories, things like that. I believe there is like a Q&A type session at some point in time during the night. That's from like 6:30 to 8. That's
a really good group of guys to be.
Oh, it's a solid group, man. It's a solid group. I mean, when you think about, that's what Brandon and I were talking about tonight at dinner. When you think about all those guys and think about where all they've been in their careers, there's no telling what stories we're going to hear tomorrow night. It's really going to be exciting. Wednesday night, same thing. Practice. Those practice times are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. There is a Fellowship of Christian Athletes gala where you get dinner and all that, and then some guys will come over. And then also Wednesday night, Wednesday night, there is a lip sync battle, which will be pretty fun probably to go watch and see. Then Thursday night, what is Thursday night? There's something going on Thursday night. I can't remember what it is. There's nothing Thursday night. Friday night is the initial Mardi Gras parade to kick off the official Mardi Gras season in Mobile. It started in Mobile. So they'll do a Mardi Gras parade, and then also there is a player parade where the players will walk through, and I believe as media members we can actually walk the parade route as well. So that'll be a lot of fun Friday night. And then there is a concert by Portugal the Man, if you've ever heard of him. He will be playing Friday night, I believe, at 8:30. And then Saturday's game day. Saturday kicks off at 1:30 on NFL Network. And I believe each practice they will do a recap on NFL Network. I believe it starts at 10:30 p.m. So a little bit late. But be sure and watch, because Brandon and I will be all around the stadium, man, moving and grooving. But you may very well see us sitting behind some scouts or something, or sitting next to some scouts, something like that, man. Kind of eavesdropping, rubbing elbows, that kind of thing. So if you see Brandon and I on TV, man, be sure and take a screenshot, post it on 4-Star Sports Media, all of our social media networks, man. We're really trying to grow a solid base down here, Zach, and I feel that 4-Star Sports Media and the Senior Bowl is just a perfect marriage, man.
Absolutely. I mean, now, Wes, if you do end up on TV, please, make sure they get your good side. But let's just, you and Bum, make sure they get Bum and his good side. But he really doesn't have a good side.
Well, here's the thing: if Bum's sitting in front of me, you can't see me. So that might be my good side.
You ain't right, Wes. But it's a lot of going on down there. And one of the things I wanted to get to pick your brain on is this going to be an annual thing for 4-Star Sports Media? I mean, you want to get. I'm switching topics here real quick, because I want to pick your brain as the head guy of 4-Star. So most people that don't know who we are kind of get a feel for who we are and what your vision is that kind of led you to the Senior Bowl. You know, you and Bum getting you guys to the Senior Bowl, because there were several articles out that you wrote kind of telling your story of how you got to where you guys are today, bringing guys on like me, like Christian, Nate, Will, and you know, including all of us in this. But how did you get your start, and what made you want to start the 4-Star brand? You're muted, Wes.
All right, sorry, I had to plug my laptop in. I didn't want to die like my cell phone and everything else has tonight. But anyway, Zach, when you look at of course, there's one more article yet to come. I'm actually going to work on that tonight after we finish this. It'll be another late night, but that's nothing normal. When you look at 4-Star Sports Media, man, my initial love of sports came from my grandparents. Being at their house watching Memphis Tiger basketball games, Penny Hardaway. I can distinctly remember my grandparents watching him, Chris Garner, and others playing for Memphis basketball, and that's where my love of sports originated. Then you fast forward to 10 years old, went to the Memphis versus UT football game. Wasn't supposed to go. I got in trouble at school. I've told this story before, I'm sure, but I wasn't supposed to be there. I got in trouble at school, man. I was a little hellion back in the day, shocker. But my stepdad came to me, lifelong Tiger fan, came to me and said, "You know what?
You a hellion? No."
Yeah, man, I was a little shit back in the day. But my stepdad came to me and he said, "Look, you know, if we happen to beat these guys, you know, I want you to be there, you know, and you're not supposed to go, but you're going to go." I said, okay, you know, so I got to go. Long story short, we won 21-17, knocked off Peyton Manning, cost him a Heisman. As a matter of fact, the sweatshirt that Fat Philip Fulmer had on that night, my uncle had the exact same sweatshirt on. About third quarter of that game, I looked over and I told him to raise his shirt up, and he wouldn't do it. So late in the fourth quarter, once the game was pretty much in hand, I looked over and I said, "Raise your sweatshirt up." And he did. It was a Tennessee sweatshirt. And I said, "If we win, I'm burning that." At 10 years old, I was telling my uncle, if we win, I'm burning that sweatshirt. So we tailgated a place called Toby Field, right down the road from the stadium. People that watching from Memphis are familiar with where that is. But I did, man. At 10 years old, I put that sweatshirt on the fence, took lighter fluid, and just lit it on fire and burned it. Tennessee fans were walking by, and I was yelling at them. You know, I was 10 years old, man. I didn't know it better. But man, and then I played sports, you know, all growing up, and then got into coaching. And coaching is when I really fell in love with sports. I mean, I had a love playing the game, but coaching is where I really fell in love with it, man, because I got to see firsthand the kids' eyes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you really got to understand how much these kids really look up to coaches and look at them in a totally different aspect than I ever looked at any of my coaches, honestly. But then, you know, made some personal decisions in life that cost me some dreams along the way. We all make mistakes, and we're all definitely given a second chance at life. And I took that second chance. There was one thing that I hadn't tackled. One of my biggest dreams was getting married, and I got a chance to do that 4 years ago to a woman that's absolutely amazing. And without her,
we love you. We love you, Free.
Yes, we do. We love her very much. Man, when you look at it, man, she opened my eyes to my full potential, not only as a man, but as a professional. And I have a great job right now in dispatching, and nothing against my boss, and he knows that. But at the end of the day, this is my dream. This is what I want to do, and she's giving me that opportunity. Like right now, I'm gonna be gone for a week. You know, she's giving me that opportunity to do that, and I can never give her enough praise for that. But you know, I started it about 2 years ago with a guy named Jonathan Sturdivant, and I apologize I didn't add him in my article. I just didn't. I don't know what else anything to say about it. But man, me and him got a show going. We were just kind of shooting the shit, talking sports. and it kind of grew. We had some people fall to the wayside, John being one of them. But man, I got nothing but love for John Starter, and he knows that. He still supports us to this day, and we appreciate it. And there's avenues for John to come back on as a guest down the road, and John and I have spoken about that. But man, Zach, when you look at it, man, I mean, we went from one show being the 4-Star Sports Show. We got our first sponsor through them with BA Mask and Alan McFerrin, and then it's grown. I mean, you know, we bring in Christian, we bring Big Pat Bumgarner in. He's a whole two people by himself, both personality and size. But man, it's really refreshing, man. That's what Brandon and I were talking about on the way down here. You know, a year ago we were all talking about, man, I want to get you know, SEC Media Day credentials, and now we're sitting at the Senior Bowl, and I've got 2 credentials hanging over my dashboard out there in my truck, and 2 media passes, and I mean, you know, I'm ready for some damn candy too. I hate to tell them, but I want some Reese's while I'm down here. But man, it's you know, Zach, it's been a lot of fun, man, and it's you know, and just about all my posts lately, I've been saying, you know, for SSM or 4-Star Sports Media is going to take 2022 by storm. And this is just the beginning. I mean, you're looking at January 31st. Our website is just, excuse my language, but it's fucking booming. I mean, it's going off right now. Yeah. You know, I'll be sure and have that conversation when I finish. But you know, man, it's I mean, it is. I mean, our website's taking off. We've got an incredible website, guys. Shout out Nigel. But I mean, like for this trip right here, man. I mean, Sidecar Cafe. They're our home in Memphis, Tennessee. They're now going to have 2 locations. They're getting ready to open up a second one down in South Haven, Louisiana. I'm sorry, South Haven, Mississippi. My bad. But Rick Haygood and Mike and all those guys in that radio in the restaurant group that they're in, they've been amazing to us. Sidecar Cafe, like I said, is like a home to us. We got some things working with them that's gonna put our name out there even more. Not only the Memphis area, but South Haven as well. But you know, Zach, I mean, we started this. Of course, I'm a diehard Memphis fan living in Arkansas. So that's kind of odd. I mean, you know, for some Memphis fans. But we bring you in. You've got expertise that we did not have, and you have expanded our brand so much, man. I mean, it's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, you and I both know that. Because I mean, just for example, with StreamYard, I mean, this is a great tool we use. And we don't use but 1/10 of it. I mean, that's the crazy thing. I mean, there's so many other things we can do to improve our content, and we're getting there. We are gonna get there. But yes, to answer sorry, I kind of went the long way around your answer there.
No, you're fine, man.
But man, yeah, to answer your question, yeah, damn right. We're gonna be here year in, year out. I plan on being here every year. I plan on having the whole crew down here. We ain't but 45 minutes from the beach, homie. I mean, we can just stay at the beach and make a haul. Hey, I ain't messed up about it. But yeah, man, when you look at it, dude, tomorrow's gonna be a lot of fun. Tomorrow, I mean, like I am really excited about tomorrow morning. Sleeping is gonna be an issue tonight, probably. I mean, I gotta work on the article and stuff like that, but. I'm excited, man. I'm excited for us. I'm excited for Brandon and I individually. I'm excited for everybody involved. Because at the end of the day, man, what we do down here, it affects everybody in the brand. And that's really what it's all about. It's about, you know, when you look at our brand, we pride ourselves on being honest and bringing honest quality content week in, week out. No matter if it's our forte or not, today on the show, dude, we talked about wrestling at the end of the show. I mean, we broke down the Royal Rumble.
I know, I saw it. I read it.
I mean, you know what I mean? It's just, I mean, when you look at us, man, we're multifaceted. We've all got different personalities, and that's really what I like. Because when you look at, like, no offense, but when you look at ESPN, they're all kind of cookie-cutted the same. They've all kind of got the same DNA, and we're not. We're not like that. Brandon's got his own opinions. I've got my own opinions. If I don't agree with Brandon, I'm going to tell Brandon I don't freaking agree with him. And then we're going to move on to the show.
I don't agree with nobody. Come on now, Will.
Well, it takes a lot, man. Trust me, it takes a lot. But, you know, when you look at this brand, man, we're growing exponentially month by month. I have website numbers to prove that statement. I can back that statement up. And when you look at us...
I've been with the brand since last July.
It's grown a lot since then.
Yeah, most definitely. Man, but Zach, let me ask you this. I mean, when you look at a brand like 4 Star Sports Media, what do you think makes us the most unique?
Well, I mean, first off, it's just you can turn on a different show weekly and have the same topic, but differing opinions, different points of view of it. And that's what it all boils down to. None of us have any kind of formal education at all in any of what we do. We are simply fans doing what we love.
Besides Will does have a broadcasting degree. Shout out Will Bass.
Okay, well, Will's got a broadcasting degree. I'll have one here in the next couple of years, and in video production. So, but the core group of us, the actual, I'm not taking any away from anybody else, but like guys that host shows like you, me, Christian, we tell it like it is as fans, you know. And Christian and I have talked about this several times. He and I will cover the same topic in the week, but have differing points of view of it. And that's what makes 4 Star different than all the other groups out there, all the other sports media networks that are out there, and not taking anything away from them. Much respect to what they've started, but like I say on Inside the Hog Pen, anybody can turn on the SEC network. Anybody can turn on the radio. Anybody can turn on ESPN or Fox Sports or whatever and hear the same thing. Oh, well, this person. What does an actual fan see? Not somebody who's paid to talk about it. What is a fan paying to go see the game? A fan of that team. What do they see? Maybe that's something different that, you know, the fan sitting next to you didn't see. But that's what makes 4 Star that different than from everybody else. And that's what makes us stand out.
That's what makes us stand out
and above.
And above.
Yeah, and I mean, when you look at it, I mean, look, here's the thing, man. We could all be sitting at a football game. Every member of our brand. And we could all see that football game completely different. We could all see it completely different.
We saw it from three different points of view.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, Zach, when you look at it, man, our fans are loyal. Our fans are week in, week out. They're on our shows. They're commenting. They're watching. They're listening. I want more of that.
I gotta tell you, I've been doing this for about 5 years now.
Yeah.
And I've got some local fans. They have been with me since day one, and they've now become fans of 4 Star Sports Media. They've now become fans of the Hog Trough, of the Pick'em shows, and they're visiting the article. They're visiting the website. They're reading the articles. They're keeping up with us no matter what we're covering, no matter where we're covering it from. So you're absolutely right. The fans, and Christian and I both say it on both of our shows every week. If it weren't for the fans, we wouldn't be here doing what we do, and we wouldn't be
loving it as much as we do.
Oh, you're exactly right, man. I mean, when you sit back and look at it, I mean, obviously using StreamYard, we can see for a certain degree how many people are watching at a time. I used to get caught up in that. I did, man. I used to get so mad if it went 2 people watch. But now, I don't worry about it. We put our content out there, and we trust that people are going to listen and watch because that's what's been happening. We haven't changed anything. Now, after a little break and let everybody charge their batteries, get some quality time in with family and things like that, which is good for a brand. It's good for a company, and we are/will be a company here shortly. But Zach, man, when you look at the year that 4-Star Sports Media has had, it's just the beginning. We're pumping out articles. Christian Johnson is pumping out freaking articles left and right.
Yes, and he's getting better.
You got Hog Baseball coming up.
He's getting better.
Week in, week out, he's getting better. Week in, week out, he is improving his written content. And I posted a thing the other day. I sent it to, I believe, everybody in the group. A guy that's a very esteemed writer in sports made a critical mistake. He quit writing articles on NASCAR, and then he reached out to cover NASCAR, and the guy went to his website and said, "Hey, I see some articles, but they're not current. If you write current articles, we'll give you many credentials you want." At the end of the day, yes, video broadcast, but that written content, man, it gets you indoors that I never realized got us into doors. Now I have a much better understanding. And this week, when you look at the Senior Bowl, this week, I'm more excited to gain knowledge, not only about the game of football, obviously, but to gain knowledge of what can we do to become a better brand and better as individuals. And I think that is really what year one of the Senior Bowl for us, that's what's going to be most important, is just learning the do's and don'ts, how to, how not, and then just taking that knowledge and using it as we move forward.
Absolutely. And, this will help all of us, okay, so this is first year. What do we learn from this year not to do next year? So forth and so on. See, things in this business that I've learned over the years is it's all trial and error. It's all trial and error. And it's a continuous learning process. I'm still learning. I've been doing this for 5 years. I've been sitting behind a mic and in front of a camera for 5 years doing this every Friday night. And I'm still learning ways to change it up a little bit. I'm still learning ways to keep it fresh, to keep it upbeat, because you do it redundantly and it just gets boring. You get burnt out easily. But it's a great feeling, Wes, going back on the fans. It's a great feeling when you can walk through a Walmart here in your hometown, or you can walk through a football stadium, or even a hotel in a completely different town, and be talking to a friend of yours or coworker or whatever, and somebody comes up to you and goes, "Hey, I know you. You're Razorback Zach." Or, "Hey, you're Christian Johnston or Wes Pruitt or Bum." That's when people are starting to notice. That's when people are starting to take notice of your brand. That's when you start elevating your game up. Okay, people are starting to notice, so we need to kick this into the next gear and take it to the next level.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Zach. You're exactly right. Sorry, I'm sending a text message. Yeah, man. When you look at it, at the end of the day, the fans is what drives us. I mean, really, it is. But at the same time, you just mentioned it. You can almost become a zombie at times to this, because it's the same. Yes, it is the same thing, but it's different. Each show should be different and unique if you can make it that way. Real quick, want to thank everybody right now watching on 4-Star Sports Media, Facebook and YouTube. Razorback Zach and I are in here. Special edition of 4-Star Sports Show. Just breaking down Senior Bowl from day one with everything going on this week. It's going to be a lot of fun down here. Brandon Bumgarner and I are down here representing 4-Star Sports Media for the first of what's going to be many years to come down here in Mobile, Alabama. Didn't get a chance to drive by the stadium today, but really looking forward to getting in there tomorrow, seeing the freshly painted field. Jim Nagy, if you don't follow Jim Nagy on Twitter, you're doing yourself a disservice. It's at Jim Nagy. Dude is a just genius, man. The way he takes pictures, the way he posts them, the way he updates people is beautiful to see. But man, so far, Zach, it's been a great time down here. Doug is, I hope I'm saying that name right. If I'm not, I apologize. Said check out offensive lineman Max Mitchell. Will do for sure. Thank you very much for watching. We really appreciate it. Zach, when you look at it, this is the cream of the crop when it comes to players at the Senior Bowl. It gets no better than who's down here. And it's going to be a lot of fun this week. to see how these guys can really work together.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing, who stands out. Just to kind of see, because let's face it, some of these guys, not all of them, but some of them are literally going to be playing their last game of football ever. But some of these guys, you're going to be looking at the future of the NFL, not next year or the year after, but in about 3 to 4 years, when these guys kind of get their feet wet, they kind of get used to their system, and they start getting a couple of seasons under their belt, then you're going to start seeing them rise up. Look at Joe Burrow, for example. I'm going to use Joe Burrow, quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals. Goes to LSU, wins the Heisman, wins the national championship. 2 years ago, the Cincinnati Bengals had the worst record in the NFL. 2 weeks from now, he leads his team to the Super Bowl. Okay? There has never been a player in the National Football League to win the Heisman, the national championship, and a Super Bowl in the history of the sport on either collegiate or professional level.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Joe Burrow is a player that Brandon and I talked about it this morning for what felt like an hour. I'll tell you what, man, those 2 hours this morning flew by the way, just so you know. They shot by this morning. But this morning was a little more relaxed.
When you're having fun on television.
Most definitely, man. Today was a little more relaxed, a little more shoot the crap version. Tomorrow will be much more structured. Should be anyway. You know how we are. We get a little off the rails. But I think that's what makes us unique.
That's how we do.
Yeah, it's just how we are, man. But yeah, going back to Joe Burrow, like I said, we get off the rails. Going back to Joe Burrow, man, the man's just got that it factor to him. He's got that winning pedigree, winning mentality. And it's contagious. I mean, we talked about it this morning. You look at, there was crucial situations yesterday in that game, and they cut to Zach Taylor, and he's smiling. He's relaxed. He's ready to go take on the whatever situation's in front of him. And Joe Burrow's going to do that. I really feel Joe Burrow will get a Super Bowl this year. I think he's just destined to do it.
All right, so I'm going to take one final break, and then Wes is going to wrap it up from Mobile until tomorrow evening. So you're watching a very special edition of the 4-Star Sports Show on the 4-Star Sports Radio Network. Back in a minute.
Tomorrow on 4-Star Sports Radio's coverage, live from the 2022 Reese's Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama, Wes and Bumps sit down with Lennon Crisp of Culture, Sports, and Media at 8:45, followed by the voice of the Ouachita Baptist Tigers, Rex Nelson, at 9:15. Make sure you follow 4-Star Sports Media all week long for news and exciting interviews.
All right, our final segment on the day one recap of the 2022 Reese's Senior Bowl. I'm Razorback Zach from inside the Hog Pen. Wes Pruitt joining me from Mobile, Alabama, the site of the 2022 Senior Bowl. And Wes, as we wrap up, give me one thing you're looking forward to this week outside of the game itself. I mean, this is the first time you and Bum have been down there representing 4-Star. Give me one thing you're looking forward to out of all of the events this week.
Man, that is a tough one. There's some good events down here, man. There really is. Probably the summit. I think the summit's going to be really cool, just to kind of see a different side of these guys. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all human. All these coaches may make and they do. They make millions of dollars a year to essentially be teachers of a game, of which is football, just at a really effing high level. But man, when you look at Nick Saban, Kirk Herbstreit, I mean, just look the names that are going to be at the summit. But I'm really looking forward to just seeing what all media members I get to bump into. You know what I'm saying? I mean, really just seeing. It's like me and Brandon were walking into the restaurant tonight to eat dinner, and I said, "What would you do if Kirk Herbstreit was sitting at the bar?" I mean, you never know who you're going to run into down here at any time, man. And that's what I'm really, I think, looking forward to the most, is just getting a chance to be one of them. You know what I'm saying? And them being sports media world. I think it's an affirmation that we've arrived, really. And I think I'm really looking forward to seeing just how much we have arrived. If that makes any sense. I mean, that sounds a little deep, but does that make sense?
That does make sense. And Wes, as the guy that started it all, you should take a moment and be proud and just kind of step back and look as a brand, the team that you've built, the progress that you've made, and the future coming up. Because, like you said earlier in the show, it's just January, and we're already at the Senior Bowl. I mean, you've got local events coming up. We've got a charity event coming up in June. We've got the Salt Bowl coming up in August between two of the biggest high schools in the state of Arkansas. We've got Razorback football coming up, Memphis football. We've got Razorback baseball coming up in just
We got March Madness right around the corner. Don't be shocked if 4-Star Sports Media don't pop up at March Madness.
You've got all these events that's coming up, and you never know when 4-Star Sports is going to be there. So, folks, as we're wrapping up here tonight, make sure you like, share, and follow all across social media. We've got a YouTube channel. Check out our website. You can find links for all of our shows there. If you're listening on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, Twitch, doesn't matter. Make sure you like and subscribe. And it's going to be a fun year for 4-Star Sports Media. Stay tuned all week long. I'll be back every night to host the recap show alongside Wes. And we're going to get the inside scoop of everything going on in Senior Bowl. For Wes Pruitt and Brandon Bumgarner down in Mobile, Alabama, I'm Razorback Zach here in Central Arkansas. You've been watching a very special edition of the 4-Star Sports Show with live coverage of the 2022 Reese's Senior Bowl. Stay tuned tomorrow for another recap. Until then, so long, everybody.